My video for May the 6th, 2019 is video number 3077. The title is The Dark Ages of the Kali Yuga. At present, virtually the only spiritual group I attend every week, other than the discussion group, is the Sunshine Lecture every Sunday at 9 a.m. at the Yoga Shakti Mission. There was a time when I would attend various groups 3 or 4 times every weekend. And when I was younger, I was in church whenever there was a meeting. This is a time when I am questioning the various things that are taught in such spiritual circles. I even question how there could possibly be a loving God, since there is so much suffering all over the planet. A few days ago, as I got on the elevator, as a man got on the elevator with me, I noticed he was staring at the floor. When I spoke to him, he looked up at me and said, quote, "I thought you died. I guess it wasn't you." I later learned that another man, tall man, who lives below me had died. That brief conversation still haunts me. Will I simply drop dead as he apparently did? I have lived to actually see and participate in bringing heaven to earth. Hindus teach that we are in the final years of what they call the Kali Yuga. The mission I attend each week covers many topics, but for me, I am facing a time of deep introspection. Will I live to see the Satya Yuga, or what I would call heaven on earth? I'm told the yugas last about 6,000 years each. That would mean we will not see peace on earth for more than another 1,000 years. Yeah, the conversation on the elevator, as I said, still haunts me. Of course, I make videos every day, so somebody would notice, but apparently he went a few days after he died before anybody realized he was gone. And it was only because they could smell something coming out of that room. That's terrible. It's terrible that anything should happen like that to anybody. But lots of things that happen on earth, from my perspective, are just terrible. Why do we have so much suffering? Why are people continuously at war? Of course, it's a money game for the people that are in charge. And I don't know the timetable, 6,000 years of a Kali Yuga or yugas that last 6,000 years. I thought every 2,000 years we were supposed to go into another cycle. But everybody has a different opinion. And probably even Hindu teachers will not always agree that the Kali Yuga started about 3,000 BC or 3,100 BC and will go approximately 6,000 years, which would bring it to 3,000 AD, or something around that period of time. In any case, like many people, I have a vision for a world at peace. And it seems ridiculous that anyone, I'm not talking about myself alone, that anyone should have to live on a planet that is run by people or beings that seem at best demonic. I don't know if that's at best, but I mean, they don't seem to have empathy, as I've said in the previous video and many before that. And without empathy, without kindness, without being able to love one another, no religion makes any sense. And so many religions seem to buy into a dark side, like the prize comes when you die, and living here is inconsequential, except that you should still try to do the best you can. But you get paid back for whatever you do in this life. You get paid back in some future life, and you have to keep repeating the cycle called reincarnation. Yeah, I believe in reincarnation. I didn't always, but I do now, and I've talked about reasons why I believe it. The young boy that was raised a Christian, that said he had died in the previous war, and they finally took him back to the place where he said he died, and he actually he knew the place, he recognized the place, and actually talked to an old lady who remembered him when he was younger. So there are things that seem incontrovertible to me as far as proof that we do live more than one lifetime. But this lifetime for me has been significant, because before I was born, my parents gave me to God. They didn't tell me that for 18 years. But from earliest childhood, I just had a temperament that went toward spiritual things. I mean, whether it was Sunday school when I was a little tyke, or as a teenager, going to, if the doors of the church were open, I was, if my parents weren't, initially my parents would go to church all the time too, but then they reached the stage where they weren't. So I got rides, usually from the minister of the church. And if they were having revival meetings, that was every night of the week, I'd be there every night of the week, because I loved going to church. And most teenagers would not identify with that in the modern day and age. But that's how I was, because I had this spiritual drive to learn about the things of God. But I wonder, what kind of God is it that allows so much darkness and allows people, apparently they're people, who seem to be in charge and in control of things, and yet they do such awful things? And it's come out. Thankfully, the internet, which was created to spy on us, has also allowed some freedom of expression so that we can explore and find alternative viewpoints on many subjects, not just religion, but many subjects, science and economics, and all of the things that are the rudiments of what we call modern culture. You can find lots of things about them online. So I appreciate that. And to me, that is a sign of an age shift, because information is coming out that has been suppressed apparently for a long time, or simply not known because there was no means of getting to know it, unless you went to university libraries or other libraries and studied the books and stuff like that. But now we have it at our fingertips through the internet, which is something that is a new development relative to, of course, recent history of the past many millennia or several millennia and many centuries. What am I doing here? What are you doing here? What are we going to do? Are we going to get the changes that we need? Or are we going to have to continue to suffer for another millennia? I mean, 1,000 years is a very long time. It's many, many lifetimes for most people. Even if we each lived up to be 100, which we don't, that's 10 more lifetimes ahead. But if we only live to be, I mean, I know people that die, early on. Of course, many are killed early on, and even young children die. But the life expectancy of someone today is what, 70 years old, 72, 75? I don't know exactly what it is, and I imagine it would depend on what part of the world you live in and what your diet is and other factors. But in any case, I am extremely saddened and introspective in regard to, does my life have any meaning left? Is there any purpose for me to still be here? I mean, or am I going to just someday just simply, my heart stops beating? And I mean, after I was told that, I had what I think was another mild heart attack. That's how serious it was. I mean, it wasn't as bad. I didn't break out in a sweat, and my arm didn't turn numb, but boy, terrible pain in my chest for 15 or 20 minutes, and then it subsided. Anyway, that's the end of my video for today. Thank you for listening, and namaste.